Hi, how's everybody doing today? This is Sean. I'm here with another video, and this video is about being calm and also being patient. And I want to share a little story with you. I am 54 years old, and I spent most of my life down here in Florida. I was born in Philadelphia, PA, and I moved to Florida in 1978. My mother and my grandmother moved us. My father passed away, and we moved to Florida. So when I moved to Florida, understand that living in Philadelphia is a concrete jungle. I literally, there's my girl Ashley. Been together 12 years. Wow. Yeah, she's looking for feathers for her dream catchers that she makes. So we thought we'd like come to some places like this. But today we're picking her little brother up from school because he's doing good work, and they let him, let the kids that get good grades, they leave the school early. So let me get back to what I was saying. When I moved to Florida, there was a lot of things I'd never seen before, and I lived in D-Land, which is in Florida, and we took a train down here, and we were staying at this motel, and there was a pond, huge pond. There was alligators and stuff. So what I used to do is I would literally take a jar and come to the pond and sit there for hours, man, and put a little piece of bread in the jar and let little minnows come into the jar, and then I scoop them up and look at them and check them out. There's tadpoles, and I did that most of my life as a little kid. I've been around water, and I've been around all types of natural environment, like nature and stuff, camping and fishing and surfing most of my life, But unbeknownst to me, what I was doing as a child is I was learning patience. And unbeknownst to me, as a child, I was learning how the tides move and how the ponds work and rivers and oceans and all that. Everything is organized, and it's formal, you know that at the mid tide is going to bring in better waves for the outside, for mid break, mid to short pound, you say, and then higher tides will bring in a outside break, a little bit more of an outside break where the waves will break further out, and with the wind you can see the current going. And it's times like this when society starts becoming the way it is, because this is a reset. If you don't know what's going on, everything that's being done is being done intentionally. They do this every 100 years. These fucking creatures that are ruling the world. It's a reset. So we're living through this right now. We're living through a reset. That's why everything looks so fucking weird, and all this stuff is happening, and it's bizarre shit and evil shit, and they're blatantly telling you what they're doing because they don't care. They have already got they think they got all their pieces in line to put a checkmate on us, but that's where they make mistakes, because they're brazen, and they could have got away with this stuff 100 years ago, but it's harder for them to get away with this stuff now because of modern technology. This little camera in my hand exposes all the stuff that they do because it's got a computer on it. And unfortunately, in the so-called truth movement and stuff, there's a bunch of people in here, and I don't blame them. Some of them are in bad ways, but they're on here to make money, and that's it. They'll never jeopardize their channel. They ain't gonna tell you anything to make anything any better. They're just gonna go with basic truths and obscure the reality of things. If you think I'm joking, try to trace your heritage. Very few people can do this because there's no records, and this is what they did. They wiped out the Tartarian people that made all this all these exquisite buildings and architectural things that we can't reproduce right now or replicate. We can't replicate it again because they were way ahead on these building techniques. through patience and knowing how harmony in nature works. This is how these people build stuff. We're able to do the same stuff, but you have to develop patience and you have to develop harmony in your environment. You have to be like, this sounds corny, but you have to kind of be one with yourself at the moment and like shut your brain off and just know that what's going on isn't real. It's all fucking fake shit. It's done by people that are trying to create their own realities, and their realities are fucking trash. And it's evil. It's bigger than Epstein doing some shit, doing what he's doing, and did what he did, because that guy's still alive. I said that day one, they're not going to kill this fucking guy, especially all the shit he's involved in. They don't do that. This ain't the 1940s and stuff, bro. These people are connected like in levels we can never understand, but it's about witchcraft. That's what this fucking stuff is. These people are trying to wake up the old gods, Apollo and Ra and all these things. And it's even in the Bible. People just don't understand how to read the Bible. They don't get what they're reading. For instance, Moses, good job. In the Bible, God, Most High, excuse me for a second, I'm trying to light my cigarette. Excuse me, sorry. It's hard doing this with one hand. So, to let you understand, when those plagues took place, what the Most High, or Yahweh, Yahweh's not the Most High, he's the God of this world. But what the God of Moses did was show the Egyptian gods, show the Egyptians that he was bigger than their God. How's that, Sean? Because think about this. For 3 days there was no sun. Now, who was supposed to be the most powerful God in the Egyptian world was Ra. So God told him, hey, I'll block out your sun. Your God can't stop me from doing it. The same with the plagues, with the frogs that bring fertility. So, what he did is killed all the firstborn children, everybody's firstborn children, unless they had blood on their door, which shows you that he's not ominous and doesn't know which door to go to. Somebody has to mark it because he's sending a spirit to kill people's children. And then 2, frogs were fraternity. The Egyptians prayed to these things for fraternity. And then the blood in the river was supposed to be blood of the god.
Here, show the peoples the feathers I found.
Nice.
I found some feathers. I make dream catchers, or I'm going to.
That's what I was telling them. So, what God did in the Bible, in Exodus, and what Moses is talking about with the staff, and if you can tell, the 2 people wrote that story, by the way. One version has Moses holding the staff, and other versions have Aaron and Moses, both of them, and at the end, there's parts in there where God does it himself, but the God of this world, not the Most High. There's a bunch of gods in the Bible, and this is where people get misunderstood about what's actually going on. There's the Most High that made all of this, and he sent his son, Yahshua HaMashiach, the Christ Jesus, to tell us that we have the kingdom of heaven inside of us. And through Christ's sacrifice on the cross, the blood of Christ, and the divine spirit that was given us at birth, which we call a soul, or whatever you want to call yourself, however religion you're in, they all have some variation of it. That connects you with the Most High. It connects you with earth and nature and all this other stuff, and the things that these people are not capable of doing, because Jesus even says this when he tells his disciples to let the dead bury the dead. What he's talking about is these people have no souls and they're already dead and they can't be saved, so you just let them go. And there's going to be people like that in your life, and you be patient. They'll expose themselves. Everybody does, and they can either learn from their lessons and become a better person for it, or they're just not going to change and just going to be the same person they are, and you just gotta either decide if you want to deal with it or don't deal with it. But patience gives you the ability to give time to people, to to give you plans, but they will all expose themselves. That's what they're doing now. They're doing it intentionally. As I was saying before, no one can really truly trace their heritage back past 1860. Unless they had a Bible that was written by their great-great-great-grandparents, or some kind of book that they wrote their marriages in and things of that nature, because that's how people kept records back then. And this is exactly, some of the stuff I'm saying is exactly why Alexandria was burnt down, the Library of Alexandria. That's why every major city in America in 1871 was burnt to the fucking ground. Everywhere around the world, there was major fires and burned every city down. What's the odds of that happening? That's how they destroyed things, because the people of that time were sophisticated people that used bargaining. They bartered with each other. They had what you call guilds, carpenters and plumbers, and everybody that had a trade were part of a guild, and they would trade their skills for food and have people build stuff. This is how they built everything. It worked perfect. Thomas Jefferson actually tried to get the guild from Philadelphia, the Workers Guild, and he was denied it because you had to be a member, one, and then you had to have a trade. So even the president couldn't get this book, that shows you how much it costs for labor. I mean, how much the stuff actually costs, the wood and things of that nature to build these things, and concrete, and how much you would need to build something, and how long it would take to do it, how many people, all that, and what kind of tradesmen you would need, and women that you would need also. Thank you. So that they didn't have banking systems. They didn't even have banks most of the time.
Hey, Shawnee, one more time, look at this. That's a good picture of you.
Thank you. So they didn't have banks, and things were smooth as you can get, and they built the most sophisticated stuff that's still standing to this day. So it's not necessary. But what you got here are people that are using Khazarian magic. It's money magic. I don't give a fuck where they're from. I'm not going to argue about where they're from. I just know what they're doing now. I don't care if they're from Asia and you want to call them Khazarians, or if you want to call them Ashkenazis, or if you want to call them whatever. I don't care. The fact of the matter is, it's gotten out of hand because they have gotten power that they don't deserve to have, and nobody deserves to have, because it corrupts completely. And it has to come to a stop. And if we don't stop it, it's not good. We ain't gonna have anything for our children, and we ain't gonna have nature. There ain't gonna be no more things like this anymore. It's gonna be wiped out, and you have to pay for everything. And that's what their fault is: greed and pride. Those are a bad combination. So, all right, well, I'm gonna get back with you guys later. I gotta go take the kid home. We just picked up Joshua's. I can't keep up with all these damn kids' names. They're not my children, or actually, but we help our family out by picking them up. I don't know, I forget. I'm sorry. Connors. Yes, so we just picked up one Connor. So anyway, I'll get back with you more. I just want to give a little drop out here and let you know it's not you. It's an actual system that's being reset, and it's much bigger than anything that we know about, because you got to really look into the history of things. But if you're patient with yourself and willing to learn, you're going to be able to figure things out and be ahead of most people to help your family and your close friends and stuff. So the more you learn, the better off you are. The more patient you are, the more things you're going to learn, and you're going to be more observant. And just remember, you're loved. Don't let anybody take that away from you.